General Krovax of the Tsar Dominion stood tall inside the shattered ruins of Earth's United Defense Command. His scales shimmered with dominance, his talons stained with the blood of resistance. Behind him marched his elite guard 7 foot. Titans bred for war and programmed for absolute obedience. Earth had fallen. Its satellites burned in orbit. Its fleet scattered and broken. Its leaders executed publicly. What remained was ash, rubble, and defiance. Krovax raised his clawed hand as the final prisoners were dragged forward. Among them was a young woman in torn armor, limping but unbowed. Her name was Captain Liana Miles, a tactical specialist who had led the last guerrilla holdout in the Andes for over a year before her capture. Krovax snarled in his native tongue, "Bring the human forward." 2 Tsar warriors shoved Liana to her knees, but she resisted, faltered, then pushed herself up again with bloodied hands. "I said kneel," Krovax growled, switching to crude Terran common. He descended the broken steps of what once was the UDC's Grand Hall. "Humans are defeated. Your resistance is meaningless. Your world is mine now." Liana looked up, her eyes sharp despite the swelling around her temple. "Then why are you still talking?" She spat, voice hoarse but proud. A murmur passed through the alien ranks. Krovax's snout curled into a smirk. "I admire your fire, human, but even fire burns out. You will kneel just like your leaders did, just like your planet did." Liana breathed slowly, her voice now level. "If humans were meant to kneel, we wouldn't stand back up every time tyrants came knocking." Krovax's smirk faltered. Then she said it cold, calm, and defiant. "You want me to kneel?" "Kneel first." The alien general froze. His guards shifted uneasily. It was not the words themselves that chilled the chamber. It was the way she said them. As if she knew something they didn't. As if this wasn't the end, but the beginning. Liana slowly reached into her ragged utility belt. The guards aimed weapons, but she held up an empty hand. "Relax. I'm not here to martyr myself. I'm just making a call," Krovax growled. "To whom?" She tapped a barely functional wrist communicator. "To the reason you'll be on your knees in the next 5 minutes." Above them, the sky screamed. Everyone looked up. The clouds churned. Unnaturally. The remaining satellites, Tsar ones, suddenly blinked out. Not exploded. Just off. Krovax turned. "What trick is this?" Liana stood straighter now. "You were so focused on Earth's military, you never considered Earth's mind." In orbit, Project Blackneck came online in artificial intelligence. That had been sleeping deep beneath the oceans, hidden even from Earth's own governments. Built as a last resort, not to protect Earth, but to end anything that conquered it. The AI sent a pulse through the remaining Earth-bound systems, and the ruins around them flickered to life. The dormant drones in orbit began activating. Subterranean. Cannons hidden inside dead cities hummed with ancient energy. A forgotten lunar station turned, locked onto the Tsar command vessel, and fired a beam that split the heavens. "Impossible," Krovax hissed. "No," Liana said. "Human." Explosions lit the sky as dozens of Tsar warships began falling like firebirds. The ground rumbled beneath them, not from fear, but from Earth itself waking up. Krovax's command staff shouted in panic, trying to reestablish contact with their fleet. But Blacknet had already severed every channel. The Dominion was now. Deaf and blind, the general turned back to Liana, but she was no longer alone. A half-broken troop transport crashed nearby and, from its hull emerged survivors, Marines, scientists, civilians with repurposed alien rifles. Behind them, holographic banners lit up across the ruins. "We are still here." Liana took a step forward, staring Krovax dead in the eyes. "You underestimate humans because we fall. That's your mistake. We always fall, but we never stay down." Krovax lifted his plasma blade, trembling with rage. "You are nothing but insects." "You said we'd kneel," Liana said, stepping closer. "Now kneel, or we bury you under the ashes of your own arrogance." The AI voice echoed from nearby speakers, cold and ancient. "Target locked. Czar General. Authorization. Captain Liana Miles. Execute?" She didn't look away from Krovax. "Execute." A column of light shot down from a weather satellite that had, until today, only monitored storms. It vaporized Krovax's blade, his armor, his pride. He dropped to one knee screaming, not out of pain, but humiliation. Around him, Tsar soldiers threw down their weapons. Earth survivors surged forward. The tide had turned. Liana looked down at the twitching remains of the alien warlord and whispered, "Told you so."